Tonight on News Prime, President Tinubu appoints 72 executive members for 12 river basin authorities. On the business, Dangote Refinery says Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited misrepresented fact in $1 billion investment. On the foreign scene, satellite images show Russia moving equipment as Syrian bases. At the sport, Nigeria Premier Football League sanctions Ikorodu City and warns Ogumberto over the outburst. Hello and welcome to News Prime Young Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Adikan Michael. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nicomsat. President Bola Tinubu has presented a 2025 budget estimate of 49.7 trillion naira to a joint session of the National Assembly. President Tinubu noted that the budget seeks to restore macroeconomic growth and build the economy. He commended the resilience of Nigerians amid the growing economic indices, stressing that inflation will decline according to the budget projections. He also pledged a reduction in the foreign exchange. Meanwhile, the National Assembly is to extend the 2024 budget cycle following delays in the presentation of the 2025 budget by President Bola Tinubu. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Capital Market and Institutions, Osita Izonaso, explained that the delayed submission of the budget makes it impossible for it to be passed by the end of December 2024, noting that while the 2024 budget will be extended, the tradition of starting a new year with a new budget has been lost. Izonaso stated that the 2025 budget, due to the late submission, will not be passed before the year ends, adding that while this late submission was unfortunate, it was not a major issue, though it did disrupt the regular budget cycle. And our President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has warned ministers to respect invitations from the National Assembly anytime they are called upon. The Senate President made this known when the President Tinubu presented the 2025 budget estimate of 47.9 trillion naira before the National Assembly. Akpabio said such ministers have no place in the country's democracy, and their failure to appear means the Assembly will use its constitutional powers against them. He stressed that the National Assembly has the right to invite ministers to come and defend the location given to them and their ministries. And now, in a bid to address the pressing issues of unemployment and skill acquisition in Nigeria, the Progressive Institute of the All Progressive Congress, APC, has organized a 3-day national conference in Abuja. The conference, which kicked off on Tuesday, has brought together stakeholders from various sectors to discuss ways of empowering the nation's youth. Queen Agaba has the rest of the story.
Representing President Bola Tinubu, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, emphasized the President's commitment to addressing the challenges of unemployment and youth empowerment.
A major focus of my government is to address the problem of unemployment, especially among our youth, through several innovations and interventions that will make our youth globally competitive while also upskilling them to address the obstacles that we have locally.
Speaking at the conference, APC National Chairman Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje emphasized the need for urgent reforms in education, healthcare, and protection from violence to secure a better future for young people.
This conference should be considered as an unprecedented attempt by our party to constructively contribute to the government policy efforts to address a major national challenge. It is indeed policy-driven conference, and we shall forward its outcome to Mr. President. We hope that the government.
The conference featured a lineup of expert speakers and panel discussions focused on topics such as skill acquisition, entrepreneurship, and innovation. Participants include youth leaders, entrepreneurs, and representatives from government and civil society organizations. As the conference continues, it is expected to provide a platform for young people to share their ideas and perspectives on how to drive economic growth and development in Nigeria. Queen Agaba reporting for Global Television News.
Our President Bola Tinubu has approved the reconstitution of the executive management of 12 river basin development authorities under the Ministry of Water Resources. Tinubu Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, revealed these in a statement. President Tinubu expects the appointees to use their wealth of experience to bolster the efficiency of the organizations in line with the administration's commitment to bettering the lives of citizens. The National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has alerted the public to the sales and distribution of counterfeit Paladex tablets and suspensions across Nigeria. The statements disclosed that the agency also found in circulation a Paladex dry powder for oral suspension of the Padric use, stating that the result of the laboratory analysis on both products by World Health Organization pre-qualified the laboratory in Germany indicated 0% active pharmaceutical ingredient in the product. NAFDAC said that the agency also sampled the same product, and the report of the analysis confirmed 0% of API content, that the products do not exist on its registered product database. Our Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, says the Fly Nigeria Act will transform into law under his watch. Speaking at the one-day stakeholders engagement on the legal framework for the Fly Nigeria Bill and related enabling legislation in Abuja, Keyamo lamented that the document, which is expected to make it mandatory for government, finance a transportation of government personnel, and the contractors and grantees and properties to be carried by Nigeria air flag carriers, has yet to materialize more than 15 years after it was first proposed. The minister said it will rally all the major stakeholders to push for the bill to be signed into law. Meanwhile, the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, has commended the proposed Abia Airport at Nzulu as what he described as a veritable enabler for socio-economic development. Speaking at the flag-off ceremony for the project, Keyamo described Abia as a heartbeat of industrialization in the southeast region. He noted that the airport, when completed, will boost social and economic development in the state. The minister explained that the project was initially conceived as an airstrip by the federal government, but was upgraded to a full-fledged airport due to the state governor Alex Otti's intervention and commitment, assuring timely completion of the airport, as well as promising priority appointment and employment opportunities for Nzulu community members. And in related developments, no fewer than 13 communities in Zulu, Isiala, and Ogwa North Local Government area of Abia State have protested the proposed siting of Abia Airport in their villages. The communities drove their council, Sylvester Okonkwo, in petitions to the Minister of Aviation and the Aerospace Inspector General of Police, Director General of the Department of State Service and National Security Advisor, say the project, if not urgently stopped, would render millions of the inhabitants with no place to farm in order to feed their families, while other suitable areas had already been acquired from the same people by previous administrations. They argued that an airport cannot be sited on a heavily populated community without consideration of its environmental impact assessment. They warned that the objection to the present location, if ignored, would amount to the destruction of communities and lead to the irreparable damages. Now to Osun State, as Governor Demola Adeleke has directed an immediate full investigation into a case of a young man reportedly sentenced to death by hanging for stealing a fowl. This was contained in a statement made available to newsmen by the spokesperson to the governor, Lawale Rashid. According to the statement, the state governor ordered the Attorney General of the state to intervene in the matter and ensure the young man is listed for the prerogative of mercy before the end of the year. An Osun State High Court sitting in Ikorodu had sentenced Shegun Olawokere, who was 17 years old at the time, for robbing a poultry farm in Oyano, the Utin local government area of the state. He was said to have stolen a fowl and eggs. As on the yet uncertain number of children have reportedly lost their lives in a stampede that occurred during the Children's Carnival in Ibadan, the state capital. However, it was reported that over 30 children lost their lives, with many others injured during the incident. In a statement released, the State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dotun Oyalide confirmed that the stampede occurred at a private children's fun fair at Bosheri Islamic High School. Oyalide said that the government swiftly mobilized its rapid response team following the break-in of the incident. You're watching the News Prime here on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital. When News Prime returns, Russia detains Uzbek man over general's killing in Moscow. I'll bring details of these as well as business and sports stories coming right after this break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Prime, and on to business news tonight. Data from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission shows that monies paid by the federal government as the electricity subsidies increased 199.64 billion naira in December 2024. And now the newly released report indicates that electricity subsidies rose by 2.76% to 199.64 billion naira this month from the 194.26 billion in the month of November. The Commission explained that the rise in the exchange rate, which it pegged at 1,687.45 naira to the dollar, the increase in the inflation to 33.9%, and the changes in available generation capacity necessitated the minor review. While the Band A customers continue to pay 209 kilowatts per hour, the tariff for customers in Band B to E were allowed to remain frozen at the rates payable from December 2022. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery says the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited provided inaccurate and misleading information regarding the details of its $1 billion investment in the refinery's operations, stressing that the facts were misrepresented in a manner that misguides stakeholders and the public about the nature and extent of the investment. The company clarified that the $1 billion crude-backed loan is only 5% of the total investment that went into building the 650,000 barrels per day refinery. The company chief corporate communications officer Olufemi Shoyeke at a stakeholders engagement meeting revealed that national oil firm secured a $1 billion loan backed by the crude oil to support the community on stream of the 650,000 barrels per day capacity refinery. Now, President Tinubu says indicators have shown that the economy is responding positively to stimulus. Tinubu said this while presenting the 2024 budget on Wednesday before a joint session of the National Assembly. He said that the focus of the 2025 budget was to stimulate the economy through the implementation of targeted fiscal stimulus packages through the public expenditures and specific non-inflationary spending. He said that the global economic growth for the outgoing year 2024 was projected at 3.2%, and against predictions, a country made significant progress. On the part, the Central Bank of Nigeria has restricted the point of sales (POS) at the agents to a daily transaction limit of 1.2 million naira. And this was revealed in a circular on the cash out limit for agents banking transactions signed by Oladimeji Isai Taiwo for the Director of Payment System Management Department. And the circular stated that the development is in the Apex Bank's efforts to advance a cashless economy. The Apex Bank says part of the policy intervention also set the cash withdrawal limit per customer at 500,000 naira per week, and all agent banking terminals are now set to a daily maximum transactions cash out limit of 100,000 naira per customer, and an agent's daily cumulative cash out limit is now pegged at 1.2 million naira. And the chief executive of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Benga Kamalofe, says there will be another oil licensing bid round in the 2025. Kamalofe said these at the 2024 licensing round commercial bid conference in Lagos. This comes as the commission nears the end of the 2024 licensing round. He said that the commission has decided to make licensing rounds an annual event to boost oil production. Now let's get to the foreign scene. Russia's security service says a 29-year-old man from Uzbekistan has been detained over the killing of Senior General Igor Krylevo as his assistant in Moscow. Lieutenant General Igor Krylevo, head of the Radiation, Chemical and Biological Protection Forces, was outside a residential block earlier on Tuesday when an explosive device hidden in a scooter was detonated remotely. According to the state media agencies, the Russian security agency service said that an unarmed suspect was recruited by the Ukraine intelligence. Meanwhile, the Ukraine security service had already claimed it was behind the killing. Russia is moving a large amount of military equipment in Syria, signaling the preparations for the partial withdrawal. Analysts say satellite images reveal the build-up of military vehicles at a Russian-controlled port and neighbors in the western Syria. A transport aircraft also appears to have arrived and departed the country in recent days. And now the Institute for the Study of War suggests this indicates a preparation for a reduction or complete withdrawal of Russian forces. The Washington-based think tank added that the moving military vehicles to its bases may be a precautionary measure while Moscow negotiates with a new government in Damascus. And on the death toll from Silon Chilo in Mozambique has risen from 11 to 45. The National Institute for Risks and Disasters Management made the announcement saying that initial figures released shows that the cyclone had claimed 34 lives after making the landfall in Mozambique. In its updated toll, the center said that 38 people were killed in the Cabo Delgado, 4 in Nampula province and 3 in Nisa. For the island, 1 person was missing. The center said that nearly 500 people were reportedly injured, but it is which brought winds of around 260 kilometers an hour and heavy rainfall of around 250 millimeters in 24 hours. Away from that to sports news tonight. The Nigeria Premier Football League has fined Ikorodu City a total of 3 million naira and also banned their fans from watching 2 of their home games as punishment for the rowdy scenes created by the supporters who was assaulted Remo Stars coach Solamo Kamil during their Week 16 game at the Mobalogist John Arena, Onikan. The match ended in a 1-1 draw. And now the league body also issued a stern warning to all the NPFL club officials and all their coaches to refrain from using unsavory expressions about the league while granting media interviews. It specifically reprimanded the Shooting Stars coach Benga Ogombote for his outburst after one of the club's games against Ikorodu City FC in Lagos on March 12. And our Red Bull Salzburg has appointed German Thomas as the new head coach. The club made the announcement 2 days after sacking Pep Linders over the unsatisfactory performances. The Austrian club said in a statement, the 56 Laziers has signed a contract running until June 30, 2027. Lazier previously coached the under-16 and under-18 teams of the Red Bull Football Academy and the Salzburg's European Youth League team. And also wrap up the news prime. Let's take a look at our major stories. President Bola Tinubu has approved the reconstitution of the executive management of 12 river basin development authorities under the Ministry of Water Resources. On the business news tonight, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has stated that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited provided inaccurate and misleading information regarding the details of this $1 billion investment. And our analyst says that Russia is moving a large amount of military equipment in Syria, signaling preparation for the partial withdrawal. On in sports, the Nigeria Premier Football League has fined Ikorodu City a total of 3 million naira and also banned their fans from watching 2 of the home games as punishment. And as a package, here on News Prime, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nicomsat. You can watch the rest of the news at Global TV NG. On behalf of the entire production team, we thank you for joining us on News Prime. My name is Richard Michael. Thank you for staying with us and watching. See you again.